Hola, it's Kaipacha with the weekly Pele Report. Walking in a winter wonderland. Oh, por Dios. This ain't no Costa Rica, baby. Oh, man. Anyway, I didn't think it was raining, but it snowed last night, and then now it's kind of turned into rain. This was going to be a lot whiter. Anyway, it's Wednesday. That's Pele Report Day is Wednesday. December 29th, the last Pele Report of the great year of 2021 in preparation for the great year of 2022. Oh, that's right. I was going to come up with the acronym for 2022. I'm going to need to do that. Maybe it'll be down in the notes below or in the, this week's newsletter or something. But look, there is a creek there, but you can hardly... Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Haven't been down here before, so I don't know what is going on, but the moon is in Scorpio, so I am going to find out, dig down deep into the mysteries, share the mysteries with you today. She is definitely waning in the last quarter, going down, getting approaching the sun closer and closer by the day until we have the new moon in Capricorn, 12 degrees 20 minutes on Sunday. So she's in Scorpio. She's going to go into Sagittarius on Thursday, enter Capricorn on Saturday, crash into that sun. Wait till you hear the Sabian symbol for the new moon. Hallelujah. The other big thing I want to talk about today is Jupiter in square to the moon's nodes. So that does not happen very often. Okay, you know, that's like every 6 years or so that we have a Jupiter square the nodes. Very, very powerful. Just went into Pisces. You know, the nodes are in Gemini, Sagittarius. And it's a planet squaring the nodes is always very important. I'm going to read you the Sabian symbol for that, which is another killer. Wow. I fall in love with these Sabian symbols more and more the more I use them. Anyway, in addition to all these different things, Mercury is cruising along, okay, you know, conjoins with Venus like right now as we speak, and then comes and hits Pluto tomorrow and goes into Aquarius on Saturday. So, shoop, a little bit of a shift, change in energy on Saturday with that Mercury changing signs. And in addition to that, the sun is moving along, you know, just prior to 12 degrees. It's going to square Chiron today. The wounded warrior over there in Aries. Yeah, Capricorn to Aries. And what? Last but not least, just kind of, you know, as that moon cruises along. Oh yeah, the interesting thing now is with Chiron and Uranus, they are traveling along at just about the same speed through just about the same degrees. So whenever something squares Chiron, you know, it's going to come into a trine with Uranus. Unless it's on the other side, it'll square Uranus and trine Chiron. But there is this 30-degree you know, aspect happening here, semi-sextile between Uranus and Chiron, which is very interesting that they're always getting triggered at the same time in different ways. Boy, this is such an interesting landscape. It's very gnarly, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Look at this gnarly. Those are dead blackberries up there. Didn't quite make it before the freeze. Well, anyway, I don't know where I am going to do this report, but I'll find someplace. I don't think I'm going to be sitting down. All right, everybody. Yeah, well, this could be a little bit of a short Pele report out here in the weather. It's a little rainy. I hope the sound is good enough. But let's talk a little bit about, well, first of all, you know, the sea goat Interesting to have half dolphin, half mountain goat. You know, the whole symbol of this sea goat is coming from the depths. The symbolism is the depths of the oceans and waters of feelings. You could even think of Cancer as the opposite of Capricorn, is this water sign. You know, emerging out of this emotion of subjective, intuitive innocence and childhood up to the tops of the mountain for the objective, elder wisdom view over the whole valley, over the whole mountainside. So there is this, you know, emerging, you know, and that tail, interesting, the tail of the dolphin like propelling, right, you know, the goat up the mountain. And it's a very powerful symbol of maturity and of time and space, which is, of course, Saturn, Kronos, the ruler of Capricorn. And, you know, this really brings in not only authority, external authority, parents, governments, churches, institutions, employers, you know, anyone who is an authority in your life, teachers, could be a movie star, whoever you look up to, you know, becomes, you know, an authority for you. But ultimately, it does have to do with the ultimate authority. And the ultimate authority is an intelligence, right, that is above, outside, beyond, higher up the mountain, with a greater view than our own personal perspective, personal point of view, ego point of view. So this is where, you know, we really come into society, the social order, and the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. And hopefully those in positions of authority follow natural laws discovered in Sagittarius, implement these natural laws for the well-being and expansion of the entire society and of all the individuals within it. And sometimes that can happen and sometimes that can't. Now Pluto, we know, has been going through there. It's got a couple more years, transforming our understanding and our view of authority, authoritarianism, totalitarianism. We're getting a big taste of patriarchal domination, and I think we're in what we call the balsamic phase, which is the closing phase that the moon does every, right? These are just the phasal relationships of, you know, two planetary bodies to each other is called the phasal relationship. But also just whenever you come to the end, it's like, you know, bedtime. Yeah, we're putting to sleep, you know, we're closing the age of Pisces. And so this age of Pisces, which has so much to do with Neptune, the 12th house, Pisces, is the collective unconscious. I've talked about Wetiko and this collective remote mind, okay, that, you know, we all kind of share, that is unconscious, but still within. This is where psychosis and neurosis and fashion and movies and, you know, so many things emerge out of this collective unconscious into this age of Aquarius, the age of collective consciousness, right? So here we have right now Jupiter, 0 degrees of Pisces, right on that edge between Aquarius and Pisces. This is like, you know, right where, you know, the 0 point of the sign Aries, the spring equinox, is now kind of moving, pointing right towards this cusp of Aquarius and Pisces. And of course, we know Saturn is in Aquarius, co-ruler of Aquarius. Jupiter is in Pisces now, the co-ruler of Pisces, for the next 4 months. But right now, this week, and I'm going to say, you know, Happy New Year. If we do a chart, a birth chart for the year of 2022, it will have Jupiter squaring the moon's nodes. And, Jeffrey Green in Evolutionary Astrology calls these planets skipped steps. I like to call them detours, missing pieces to the puzzle, something that really needs to be done before you can let go of the past and move fully into the future. South Node, North Node. And so I want to read to you this Sabian symbol. And it is a little challenging, but let's I'm going to develop it further. But we really want to understand that this, it's necessary for us all now, to do Jupiter. And Jupiter in Pisces is expand our spiritual awareness, open the crown chakra, call in spiritual forces, soul forces, non-mental, non-intellectual, non-physical, non-emotional. We're talking the refined, subtle, divine energies. And it's a little bit of a disturbing symbol. I find it so amazing for what is, what I've already seen coming in 2022, but the symbol is a squirrel hiding from hunters. The individual's need both to ensure his future subsistence and to protect himself from aggressive social elements. The squirrel not only has to hide and store food for the winter, but to be on the lookout for the dangers involved in gathering this food supply. Social processes always cast strong shadows. The individual is never certain of being safe among his fellow men once the process of individualization, with its negative aspects, competition, social aggressivity, and greed, forces the breakdown of the organic tribal state of mankind during the archaic ages. I mean, it warns of the dangers of life in society during an era of exacerbated individualism, when violence is a possibility never to be dismissed. The need for self-protection and caution is ever present. This is probably one of the more alarming or disturbing Sabian symbols that I've ever encountered. Usually Dane gives a really, upbeat, positive interpretation, and most of the symbols themselves are very, eye-opening, third eye-opening, heart-opening. So this does give us, this idea, and I just think of the squirrel gathering nuts. It is time, and, Jupiter, Pisces, 12th house. The 12th house is the house of isolation, seclusion, ruling ashrams, convents, monasteries, hospitals, prisons. It's meditation, mysticism, where we tune in. We come inward. And necessarily, they build these ashrams on mountaintops. A lot of times, they're in these the Sacred Valley. I'm going down to the Kundalini Yoga retreat in the Sacred Valley. It's in the mountains, right, of Peru, and that's where Machu Picchu, and you think of so many of these temples and everything. Tiger's Nest over there in Bhutan, built right into the side of a cliff, right? They have these, but there is this kind of withdrawal in some ways from the lower elevation, like, the cities are built in the valleys or on the shores by the ocean at the lower elevations. And there's more concentrations of people and psychic energy and all this. So, I would say that, this year is a time where it's important for each and every one of us to be that dolphin and propel ourselves to the mountain goat top of the mountain. And to really kind of leave behind lower frequency, lower elevation, lower dynamics, and ascend into this higher stage of awakened awareness. It's really beautiful that the day after New Year's, January 2nd, we have a new moon. I mean, that does say that the chart for the 2022 is a balsamic moon, a closing, so it's like 2022 is really kind of a gateway. The way I see it, it's a lot of letting go, a lot of, releasing the past. And as much of the past as does not want to be released or does not want to go, and does not want to allow. I was thinking about this. There's so many images of the maiden giving birth with a dragon or King Herod or some dark energy that wants to snatch away the baby. This is well, speaking of getting to the mountaintop, I need to get to the mountaintop myself, man. I just got busted. You can see the creek runs right next to this road, so I was like down at the creek, and this lady, comes along and says, "This is private property. Get your bleep out of here." It's like, okay, I mean, sorry. I was like 2 meters away from the road. I mean, anyway, aggressive, private property and private possessions and separation. And this is all part of Kronos, third dimensional Saturn boundaries and limits. And I guess if I was on her property, right, it's it's a whole this intermingling of we are all one and we are all separate. And, we are all connected and we are all individual. And so this whole age of Aquarius is this unity in diversity. And I think we are finding these days just how diverse opinions are, people are, cultures are, fears are. And then we're also seeing some things that, that we have in common. And and so many people. So we're birthing. We're birthing this age, and there's this dragon wanting to snatch that new age. So we really need to kind of step into and stand up to. Not only Jupiter is squaring the moon's nodes, but Saturn will be coming up to square the moon's nodes. I did a whole video on that for the New Paradigm School of Astrology. If you want to check that out, through taking it through the houses all year, 2022, Saturn squaring the moon's nodes. Big necessity for holding healthy boundaries. And of course, that is also your immune system is a boundary that, we really all want to be taking our vitamin D, vitamin C, quercetin, and zinc. I'm taking a little NAC along with that. Anyway, to get on with this astrology is also, I have to read to you the new moon. January 2nd, Sunday, this new moon comes around, and it's gonna bring in a new vibe, a new energy, and this is beautiful. A fire worshiper meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. The subjective quest for ultimates beyond the interplay of life and death processes. Beyond cultural enjoyment and the passion for accumulation of often unusable data, of sense knowledge, stands the willful and determined, in quotes, adventure of consciousness of the occultist, the yogi, the mystic. The mystery of fire has always captured man's imagination because it is the mystery of all transformations, wrapped in the enigma of death. In times when collective, perhaps total death could be in store for mankind, the process of subjective meditation is fascinating an ever greater number of people. It brings us to a stage beyond life itself. Are we ready to take this step which the masters of yoga claim to have taken? To experience death and return to the same body? Are we ready to demonstrate our will to transcendence? So that sets the tone. This is the moon joining together. So there's a direct alignment, right? You know, the moon coming right in between, you know, Earth, moon, sun, right? Right into an alignment. And it sets the tone for this whole lunar cycle, for this whole next month. So it's a very powerful time, signature, you know, that with this Jupiter in Pisces, this new moon calling each and every one of us to not get so tangled up in the dramas. There's so many things beyond our personal control. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces are the three final archetypes, the three final signs, least personal, least controllable, social and spiritual forces, and a lot of it is going to play itself out. So we need to know where to stand, when to stand, how to stand, what to stand for. And this is where astrology comes in. And this is where our spiritual practice comes in. And this is where opening the crown chakra and opening the heart, these all come in to guide us as instruments, as swords of the new age, you know, protecting the birth of the baby from the dragon, whatever, you know. So that is the mantra for today. The sun, the moon, and the stars tell me that there is a plan for me and you, and what to do, and when to take a stand. There will be times to have boundaries, to make the stand for our families, for our children, for our future generations. And, you know, the stars are telling us, right? You know, the whole universe, the whole oneness, the law of one is acting through each one of us. So tune in to your own rhythm and your own individual expression and your own personal, you know, limits. Find those limits, hold those limits. Hold those boundaries. Not so much in an aggressive way, but definitely in an assertive way. Yeah? And then watch out for the hunters. We're all little squirrels watching out for hunters these days. Oh my God. Ow! Man, oh man, you got to dodge those bullets, man. Anyway. One more time. The sun, the moon, and the stars tell me there is a plan for me and you, and what to do and when to take a stand. Stand tall, stand strong, stand firm. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.